Welcome to Rekt Reviews, movies and entertainment analysis using the latest in beer goggle technology. And here are your dubiously qualified hosts, Erik, Paul, and Sharp. And Amy.
Don't forget Amy.
I love that intro so much.
We could never forget Amy.
Never forget now.
We did for a while, but
I know. We're back. We didn't disappear by Thanos' snap.
Say we forgot to show up a couple of times.
Quite a few times, yeah. When was the last time we were here?
I think it was in game.
Well,
The last thing I remember is not feeling so well, and the next thing I know, it's like 5 years later.
Wow, that's crazy. And Endgame just came on Blu-ray too, so that's how long it's been.
How many shows have we done this year?
Not a whole lot.
Like two.
3.
Half of one.
Well, lives happen, so, but it's going to come into the fall time now, so maybe things will slow up, summertime.
We completely missed Spider-Man, which is a good thing because I still haven't seen that movie.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I refuse. I don't like it's boring and kiddie. And
Well, I have some good news for you then.
What's that?
Black Panther 2 comes out in 2020.
And Black Panther 2 will have Prince Namor in it.
Ooh.
Does that mean we don't have to come back here until 2020?
Yeah, sorry guys, we won't be back till 2020.
I mean, the way we've
We're
been
going now.
That's
It is called
That's
Black
optimistic.
Panther: The Two Kings.
I wanted to
Is
do
that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wanting to do a show on Chernobyl because that show was awesome.
that was good.
Yeah,
I
you
haven't
guys
seen
talked about that.
You know what? We should do a show on one of these days. Have you guys seen The Boys on Amazon?
No.
That
No,
show
but I heard
is-
it was good.
It's awesome.
Oh, the superheroes that are like
they're
like
bad
assholes.
guys. Yeah, they're assholes.
I'm so superheroed out.
It's awesome. But you
They're
would
like
love this.
They're like
yeah.
social media stars.
Yeah, and it's completely
I meant to
violent
check it
and yeah, it's crazy, but it's a really good show.
All right.
But we are here for the great Quentin Tarantino and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That came out a month ago.
That's okay. I just got out of the theater.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, are you? No, really?
Well, I'm just saying it's a long movie.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It's the longest movie in
wow.
history.
I'm so sorry, guys. It went over my head. Okay. It's one of those weeks.
That's where you go once Thanos snaps you into another dimension. You just go and
Pretty
sit
much.
there. Once
Have you
upon a
seen
time.
movies since then, Paul? Because I think you swore movies off.
I haven't
was
seen-
that the quote?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything since then. I don't believe. Yeah,
Okay. I
think
haven't either.
So you're still marinating in
I'm
the.
still marinating.
I've seen it twice. But
so is
in the
Amy.
theater. Wait, in the theater
no,
or streaming?
the first time I saw it in the theater,
Streaming.
then I saw it streaming. I was like, I can't. I won't
Okay.
sit in the theater that long ever.
Yeah,
again.
no, I did
Like,
the same thing. But I was like half listening to it at home.
I will never watch that movie again.
The movie is so long and so slow to start off that I actually. I left and went to the bathroom, and I
you
never
serious?
do that. Yeah, I was like, it's too long.
I went to the
missed
bathroom.
nothing.
I missed the scene where I don't know what happened. Where
They were driving. That was what you missed.
they were driving and talking.
There's so much driving.
They were driving and talking. That's
I missed the part where Brad Pitt was talking to the like deaf blind guy in Manson. cabin.
Oh, that's
Richard
like the
Swan.
best part of the movie.
That actually kind of is funny.
What did I miss?
You missed Bruce Dern being a cranky old man, just like he is in
Yeah.
Hateful
So
Eight.
I saw him being cranky, and then I had to pee, and
The lead up to it was pretty good. Like it was a pretty tense scene.
Yeah. I saw the lead up to it, the tense scene, but then the actual.
It's true. Everything she said was true. Like,
Yeah.
that's you think that he's going to be dead or something bad.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
But see, this is one of the things. First of all, Brad Pitt was excellent in the movie. He did a great job.
He did.
It was
I enjoyed it.
I thought it was like his best acting job because usually he's just like, whatever, Brad Pitt.
I feel like he just played Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I think he
Maintenance
did,
man,
but I
Brad
think he
Pitt.
did it much better this time.
He's been working on his Brad Pitt.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think everyone's pretty good in this movie. Leonardo DiCaprio was the one that blew me away.
Yeah.
Like, he should be up for an Oscar for this thing.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
said he should be.
Well, I think the reason I liked Brad Pitt because this character, he and I are similar in the way
killed
we
your
deal
wife?
with shit. No. Well, don't tell anybody.
You
that.
just drive. No, that's all you do is drive daily.
Well, no, like so the scene at the ranch when the guy like put the knife in his tire.
Yeah.
And he walked up to the guy. He's like he didn't get mad or anything. He just pulled the spare out and he said, "Yeah, fix it." And the guy like
Laughs.
told him to fuck off and laughed,
Yeah.
and he went over and punched him in the face. I would have done the same thing and said, "Now
fix it."
Yeah, now fix it." And
All right.
and he like looked at the girls and said, "If you come over here, I'll knock all his teeth out." I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
All right, should we start at the beginning?
Let's start at the beginning.
Just have some structure here.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So we're starting with drinks first. Who wants to begin?
I am drinking a Bud Light lemon iced tea.
What?
that sounds very summer-esque.
That does not sound like you, actually.
I saw it on TV and I wanted to try it, and I must say that was a mistake because
Is it really bad?
Yeah, it's not very good at all.
Does it taste like lemon iced tea?
It tastes like flat beer that somebody squirrels a lemon into.
Ew.
Yeah.
So it tastes like Bud Light.
Bud Light is the king of beer, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, what about you, Eric?
I have a collaboration here. It's Russian River and Carl Strauss called New California IPA, and it's excellent.
Ooh, well,
California.
Carl Strauss right
like
there.
Brad Pitt, excellent, or Leo DiCaprio?
Yeah,
It's Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo,
Excellent.
wow, wow.
This beer didn't need to kill its wife. So
Okay, I actually was in the mood for some rosé thanks to watching the Book of Mormon a few weeks ago, and they were serving drinks outside, and
nice.
I got drunk before the musical started, which was musical drunk is great, by the way. Watching Book of Mormon.
That sounds great.
Got to be drunk to watch a musical.
No, but Book of Mormon with that South Park humor makes it so much better. So I got some, I don't even know, like, I don't know. The sign said it was great. It was a best-selling rosé. It's Shannon, whatever. It's
well, the
good.
sign doesn't lie.
Yeah, that I just went by. It's by Erik
TV
Santer.
commercials don't lie either, right?
That's
Shark?
true. And then I stole a Strongbow cherry blossom from the fridge. Thanks, Paul.
I didn't know there was such thing as a Strongbow cherry blossom.
It's actually
It's
pretty
like,
good.
It's like a cherry soda, right?
It's
super sugary.
It's sugary. It's like a alcoholic cherry soda
Yeah.
with what?
I might have one of those later. Right now, I'm drinking.
It's
your
gluten
rosé.
free. Yeah,
I'm
we're
drinking
sharing.
Amy's rosé.
Yeah, I decided not to drink from the bottle today, so
They're
we're sharing.
fancy. They're fancy today.
Stay classy.
Nice plastic cups.
Well, remember, we have to get a... And you know what? I haven't drank anything the past few sessions. I brought in coffee, but it's a Saturday. I didn't have to work today, so I'm like, screw it. Let's do this. And I want to hear Paul and Shark go off on this movie.
Well,
And that's what we're going to start.
let's see. So Paul hated it. It's the worst movie you've seen? Is that what you said?
I hated the ending.
You hated the ending.
the ending was
Your
the best
text
part.
was so passionate.
Yeah.
Like it
I was so pissed that like I sat through 3 hours of this thing where they're just driving and doing fucking nothing. Like you said, there was a few good scenes with Leo DiCaprio, and I mean like there's always good acting in Tarantino movies,
right.
But there's also usually good dialogue, and this movie didn't really have.
How do you guys generally feel about Quentin Tarantino? He's super hit or miss with me.
He is hit or miss. I was not a fan of The Hateful Eight. It was okay.
It was-
I mean, he's been missing
I hated
consistently
Hateful
for
Eight.
like the past 15 years.
I have not liked. I liked Inglourious Basterds was the last movie he did that I liked.
I have never seen that, and I have it.
I
And I
didn't-
need to watch it.
Quentin Tarantino pretty much lives off his legend because, excuse me, Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction
Yes,
are
the beginning.
classics.
Yeah.
They're classics. But everything after that, like Jackie Brown, I thought was one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen.
I actually really like Jackie Brown.
He's kind of just floating along. And this movie,
Not just floating along, but he found this like idiotic like formula where he sets up this like revenge porn fantasy where he takes some group, be it Nazis or Manson killers, as someone that it's okay like to do whatever the fuck you want to them, and then he acts out these like really twisted fucking like murder fantasies on screen. And it's just like his personal like fucked up trip. Like, why do I have to pay money to see this?
That's exactly what this movie was.
It's supposed to be cathartic for you too.
Well,
It was not.
What's crazy is they were saying that this was going to be his second to last film, but now he's also going to direct the next Star Trek.
Yeah.
So that's going to be he's
It's not
directing
going to
Star
happen,
Trek.
but
I think it will, and it'll be crazy. But so this movie, it's not even really a movie. It's just like Quentin Tarantino's shit. Like just like you said, there's nothing. They drive
I thought
through
you
the
liked
entire
this movie, Shark.
I did like it because it's one of those.
It's like a Bud Light.
Well, no. If he didn't have,
it's the king of all movies.
It's the king of all movies, man. If the acting were not so
Leo
good,
is king of the world.
he needed for his actors to go above and beyond, or people would have just walked out. Like Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt did such good roles. If they didn't, people honestly would have walked out because it's too fucking long, and nothing is happening in those long hours. There's absolutely nothing happening.
Nothing.
They're just like even the Like usually, it's like you said, his dialogue.
I mean, I keep saying it. He desperately needs an editor. Someone needs to.
Well,
He's doing this on
He does
purpose.
all the editing himself. Doesn't he?
He used to. He used to have a really good editor, but I think she passed away.
Yeah.
And boredom. Having to sit
no, that's back.
scenes.
She did like Pulp Fiction. She did the good movies.
Yeah,
And,
they're good. The thing she saw originally was probably
I think this is actually a problem with a lot of like directors after they get like super big and famous. I mean, Spielberg, Scorsese. I think it's true of them too. They're
like,
Like, no one tells them anything anymore.
Yeah. But at least there's an effort with them.
And Scorsese has some sort of like objective like link to reality of what's acceptable to put on screen.
All right. So, Amy, what did you think?
I went in, I knew it was going to be a long movie, so I knew, just knowing the past few movies of Quentin Tarantino, it's like you're going to have really lingering scenes where you're going to be there for a while, and there's no rhyme or reason or anything. So I came in prepared, came in with no great expectations. I personally enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I really like Leo's acting, especially doing the scene with the little girl, like his, all that.
That's one of the good
humors. And actually, Margot Robbie, like, I know it's after Sharon Tate. She looks really good with brown eyes. Like, there was that shot of her driving, and I'm like...
Which one?
For her, no, there's one with her driving. So that's when she went to go pick up the book for her husband and went to go watch her film. And I kind of I could kind of relate to that a little bit. She went to go see her film, and she was kind of humble about it, wanted to see other people's reaction, and they were enjoying it. And she was like, oh, I'm actually, kind of good at something.
That was one of the most boring and pointless scenes to me.
I think Margot Robbie was completely wasted in this movie because Quentin Tarantino put Margot Robbie in this movie because she's pretty. She's very pretty.
Of course.
He just wants to suck her feet.
And so he could look at her feet. That's why she was in the movie.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, not so much of her acting, but just certain things like I enjoyed.
Her foot acting.
I am not that person. But what I thought was kind of cool, too.
I mean, she was fun and bouncy. And it, like...
Yeah, she's, with the whole... And what's so funny is people I knew who were much younger, they didn't understand that this is modeled after the Manson murders. Yeah. And they're like, who is this person? I can't imagine watching this
if you don't know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And someone had to explain it to him afterwards. I'm like, no. But one thing, little Easter eggs I really did enjoy, two things. What's her name? Pussycat or Pussy or whatever?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's Andie MacDowell's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
In real life. And at the end...
She was in The Good Guys.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, I thought we did a show on that. Did we not?
No, I wasn't part of the crew,
okay.
though. But also at the end, when they went to go to the house to murder people that murder in movies or whatever, the one girl who took the car and chickened out, that's Uma Thurman's daughter.
Really?
Maya. She's in season 3 of Stranger Things. So I thought those kind of, because it's like, okay, Uma is Quentin's, like, goddess, like his
muse.
Muse, thank you very much. And then he has his daughter in it. I
hated Kill Bill.
I liked Kill Bill.
Quentin Tarantino has decided to, with his films now, to rewrite history the way he wants it to be.
Well, and that's the thing. So this is modeled after true life events, but modeled to his own, like, if this actor actually lived. And oh, by the way, I do enjoy some of the editing, especially with the old school kind of TV shows. Like, I thought that was kind of cool, because it did look like you were watching something from the 60s.
Well, actually, that was real footage, and he just used technology and put Leonardo DiCaprio in it.
Well, not so much of when he was like the air pilot, but at the beginning of her, at the very beginning of the movie when it was the introduction. Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool. But I thought what was really ridiculous was that scene with the Nazis, and he takes his flamethrower and says, "Who wants what? Fried sauerkraut?"
Yeah.
I thought that was stupid, and the ending was stupid with the flamethrower. I thought that was so stupid. But...
Somebody needs to get on a television show and interview Quentin Tarantino and say, "We get it. You love old Hollywood, and you love old Los Angeles,
and you love feet.
Like so." You guys aren't from LA and too young to remember
killing
this, but
Nazis.
Like all the radio stuff, that was actual stuff. Like I remember the guy, the real Don Steele, he was a DJ in LA. Yeah. So all of that stuff was real, and you could tell that's what it was. It was like basically it was like Quentin Tarantino driving around in a car in old Hollywood.
Well, and I thought that was super cool. If you have any sort of
love for this time period, which
I do.
Because all those, it didn't really.
I don't know how he got because all those television shows are real, like the show The FBI and Lancer. Those are all real television shows.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think it is? Like going to LA now, me and you, Shark, we go up there often. It's like it's a piece of shit now, and then you see you see this footage.
Seedy.
It's the armpit of the world.
Literally, the streets of Hollywood smells like piss, but whatever. Yeah. But you see this old footage of back in the day, and it's like it's refreshing. It's like, dude, that's kind of cool, you know. Yeah. So that's the way I view it. Well, I enjoyed it.
It was okay.
Current LA has just turned me against anything.
Yeah, you know,
no.
If you don't work in LA, if you don't have to go to LA, there's really no reason to visit at all. There's no reason to go there.
There's good food there.
There's good food here.
There's good food here, yeah. But there's good food.
Awesome taco trucks that are like nothing is like, oh my god, this is so good. But
I would drive there to go get the Korean tacos from that guy. I can't remember his name, but he's got
the dude from Chef.
I guess anything tastes good after you've been sitting in the car for 3 hours.
That's true.
Especially in LA traffic. Like it's a wonder I'm not in prison.
So you went 5 miles?
Yeah.
Like once you hit a point, like I know, like because I do Anaheim a lot. It's like okay, it's a cool drive. And then you get to this point where it's like a 2-lane and it looks like shit and there's construction. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Now I don't understand, Paul, how you didn't like the end of the movie. It was the best part of the movie.
The very end.
The very end.
Do we just want to talk about that now?
No. Yeah. We can hold on. Let's pause on that.
There was so much minutia in this movie. Like the whole scene with him. The whole scene with him feeding his dog at first. I was like, what is? Why am I watching this?
That took like 12 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. It took 12 minutes.
It just dragged on.
It took 12 minutes just putting the food and.
It also took him 5 minutes to get to his house.
Yeah. Did anybody else do this? So once the movie started and they're instantly driving around and they're just talking, after about 30 minutes, I was like, when is this movie going to start? I was really bored. I was like, this is a hell of a lot of setup, but it wasn't setting up anything.
I like movies that take their time, that take time to breathe.
Yeah, but they go somewhere.
But this one,
and the ending was not a payoff for me.
Again, I know about like Charles Manson stuff, but I'm not like I never like deep dived on it. I know about like Sharon Tate and all that, but it's not something that. So I have like a big history with or a big.
I know a lot about it because I read the book Helter Skelter and I've seen the movie, and because I grew up in L.A., that was a big thing where it was kind of crazy. So a lot of people from L.A. know about that.
What was the director's name? A pedophile guy.
Roman Polanski.
Roman Polanski. Well, okay, so. Okay, again. So one thing you got to take away during the trailers, I think they only had 2 trailers. It didn't describe anything. It was just scenes. You just know Leo's doing some sort of acting.
Yeah.
I don't know what Brad Pitt is. Okay, it doesn't lead to anything. So I didn't really know what I was going into because when it first started, like you said, it's like, okay, where is this going? I want to know what direction. Yeah. Okay, we're still driving. What are we doing? Okay, we're feeding the dog. Okay.
See, I knew
you're cleaning his pool and you're fixing his antenna. Yeah. What's going on?
I knew what we were getting into just based on what Quentin Tarantino's movies are.
That's why I kept that frame of mind.
I was like, okay, it's going to be Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are friends. He's an actor. He's the stunt man. It's about old Hollywood, and then there's going to be a lot of violence and gore at some point because it's a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Can I say one thing?
You got about 5 minutes of that.
I want to say, at least y'all did not. Okay, great soundtrack, by the way. I appreciate
great soundtrack.
At least you guys were not in a theater of older folk, which is cool.
Oh no!
Wait.
It's fine. I mean, a soundtrack to a movie like this is like shooting fish in a barrel, right?
The lady next to me was singing along to every song, which is playing throughout the whole. That's what I'm saying.
I would have moved.
That one,
did you bash her head against the fireplace?
I was like, and then she would do it loud, and then she go.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question.
Louder, and I'm like, can you shut the fuck up, please?
Let me ask you guys a question because when I saw it in the theater, it was with all older people.
Yes.
Okay, and I mean older than me, so that's old, right?
Yes, absolutely. They were like, "Why is this girl in this movie? She doesn't know who."
Here's something I don't know how you go. You guys know me. I don't know how you perceive me, But I don't think I look like a really friendly guy.
No, if I never met you, I'd be scared of you.
Right. So,
but a lot of people would be scared of me because I'm a bigger with tattoos.
Why is it that I go as far away from everybody as I can in the theater, and everybody moves and sits right next to me?
So when I pick theater seats, which I appreciate,
were any of them midgets?
No, because I would have left the theater. Yeah. I would have had to leave the theater.
About that. But no, so when I do a movie and I know it's coming out, I book it days ahead. So usually when I do it, no one's picked seats or anything. Right. And I look again to see where I'm looking at. The theater's empty and everyone migrates to my section. And I'm like...
Do you pick the center?
No, I go either far right or far left.
I always pick center.
Right.
So I'm used to people being around me.
Well... I mean, if it's empty and I know it's probably, I'll go a little bit more center, but I do more of a far right in the back.
I go far left to the back.
So what I did when that happened, literally when that happened, I canceled my reservation and redid another one and went the opposite route.
Yeah, and I had the day off, so it was a Wednesday at like noon. I was like, who goes to the movies?
Well, again, older, retired
I think
people.
I know what's going on here. Basically, our culture is probably like 99% people that just want to be left the fuck alone. And then we'll go to the back left of the theater.
Just because,
then spread out. Leave each other alone.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, I understand if it's going to be a sold-out theater, obviously. But like you said, if it's like early afternoon, okay, most of them are retired, depending where you're at. And I have no problem with that. It's just she kept singing the whole time. You know, like, can you stop?
I felt like I was on a date with a woman who was like 70 years old.
I bet you were.
Because she sat right next to me, and like anything that happened, she would like kind of tap me like, I was like, oh, do I know you?
She wants some big chocolate shark. Is what she wants.
I didn't want to be rude and get up and move.
She just needed to prove to her old friends that she's not racist.
I guess
the movie made her feel young.
I'm gonna sit next to the black guy.
Bodyguard. He's built.
I'm so cool.
Girlfriend, I dare you. Go in there and sit next to the scariest, biggest black guy you can find. I dare you.
We're gonna make a game out of this.
But you said she was 70, so maybe she felt safe. Like.
It's not safe to sit next to me in a movie and tap me when I don't know you.
I will totally know what theater you're going to and go sit next to you.
I know.
Sit behind him without him knowing.
Just tap him after wearing a disguise.
I'll just tap him. He'd be like,
but she's like, wasn't that funny? Please shut up. Please. I just want to finish. I just want to get to the next 6 hours of this movie so we can get the hell out of here.
All right, so let's get to the controversial part.
Sorry.
Bruce Lee.
Quentin Tarantino.
God. That scene did not need
Quentin
to be in this movie.
Tarantino should die for what he did to Bruce Lee in this movie.
Okay.
And
I rest my case. Wait, Shark, you were supposed to be my antagonist.
I know. You guys are joining forces on this.
Here's the bad thing about that.
Okay.
He can, because like I said, he rewrites history. Okay. Mm-hmm. I happen to know a lot about Bruce Lee. I was a Bruce Lee fanatic. I've read damn near every book on Bruce Lee. I've seen every documentary. I actually met his daughter one time. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's widely known that Bruce Lee on movie sets and television sets, there used to be people, stuntmen and others that would challenge him to fights. And he would always say, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to fight you. There's nothing. He wouldn't say, I'll kill you. I'm too good for you. Or anything. He was like, I'm here.
I thought he was arrogant.
My fists are registered as
he was arrogant. He was arrogant, but not like he's portrayed here.
He wasn't a dick about it.
Yeah, he was like a dick. He was like a caricatured dick.
Exactly. And so, there's only one case where he fought a dude and he beat the shit out of him only because he told him, I don't want to fight you, but the guy attacked him. So he didn't have a choice. And he beat the shit out of the guy. So that's all. Now, if Quentin Tarantino were to just say, because he's got a lot of flack from Bruce Lee's family, if he were to just say, it's just a fantasy, that's just the way I wrote it, it doesn't mean that Bruce Lee was actually like that. He says, no, Bruce Lee was really like that. And he actually said in an interview, he's like, I heard Bruce Lee say things like that. It's like, you were like 5 years old. You never met Bruce Lee. You've never seen him on a movie set. So how did you hear him say these things? And he's like, well, he actually was arrogant, and there's a lot of stuntmen that could have whooped his ass. And it's like, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about.
And then the stupidest part about that is Brad Pitt whooped his ass using like martial arts that did not exist before Bruce Lee.
Right. Exactly.
There's no way he would have known those moves.
The people
fuck out of here.
People in Hollywood
Bruce Lee,
that learned
Brad Pitt taught Bruce Lee.
Well,
that got cut.
See, and they didn't even.
It's in the director's edition.
Brad Pitt learned from Sharon Tate.
Yeah, well, they didn't even play that up that much. Like, so, in the movie where Sharon Tate is doing kung fu.
Yeah.
Okay, they show in the movie Bruce Lee training her. he never actually trained Sharon Tate. He trained a lot of people in Hollywood. Right. Sharon Tate wasn't one of those people.
I would imagine.
I think the actor who played him did a good job. I just think that scene was unnecessary. Like, if you're going to put him in the scene, it didn't have to be that. But then we're talking about Quentin Tarantino.
Well, did you read about the?
I like how that scene ended with what's her name yelling about her car.
Oh,
yeah,
that part was fun.
Fun fact: that's Uma Thurman's stunt double in Kill Bill 2.
Yeah. She's
I thought she was an actress, right?
She's both. She was in
her name's Kat. She's a well-known stunt woman.
She was in a roller derby movie that I enjoy. I forgot the name of it. It was a couple years ago, but yeah, she's actually her stunt double. Again, another Easter. I love Easter eggs. All right, continue.
She was what's her name? Xena. Whatever. Xena the Warping. She was her stunt double in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she's from New Zealand. So,
yeah. I love her accent.
Yeah, but so did you know that? I read this. There was the final scene. Actually, was supposed to be Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was supposed to kill.
So the thing that Paul said was true.
Is that?
Yeah. So that's what I sent you guys. So I found this thing on Reddit where some guy claims.
See, I'm just like, it's on Reddit. Fuck it.
Hollywood Insider. It could be bullshit, but it was pretty detailed.
Yeah.
So what was the scene supposed to be then?
It was supposed to be Brad Pitt and Bruce Lee.
Went to the ranch.
Yeah, going to the ranch.
And fighting.
And Bruce Lee was supposed to have killed Charles Manson.
And it was kind of like it was supposed to be like a Kill Bill sort of scene.
Yeah. Which to me would have been much better.
Because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it would have been great to put that in. But
I mean, I could go either way. And then, the ending, though, I just thought it was kind of lackluster, though. Like,
I thought it was good just because it was fucking hilarious.
Well, no, not that part. I'm talking about the part where
I couldn't take it anymore is where he is frying the chick with a flamethrower. She's in the pool and she's just standing there and letting herself get fried instead of just diving underwater. Was she blind at that point?
I have no idea. Probably
the best line in that movie is when the Tex guy is holding a gun on Brad Pitt and he goes Spawn Ranch, I know you, and he's like, what's your name? And the guy was like, I'm the devil, and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, no, it was dumber than that.
Yeah, that was actually pretty funny.
I was like, that was a good line. I like that whole scene just because. So you have it
again. If any of this led to something it would have been okay.
So this is going to sound weird, but that whole scene, it reminded me of working at a door bouncing, because you have people that. I'm
not going to any of your clubs.
Well, no. See, the whole thing is that the idea that these people they're just wandering homeless hippies that they're going to just be able to walk into somebody's house and kill everybody.
Why didn't they kill DiCaprio?
Well, no, he was in the pool.
No, like when he came out to yell at them when they're in the car.
Well, because they were their mission was to kill.
Oh, that's when they reworked their mission. Okay.
Yeah, so then I guess that makes sense. The girl was like, "Hey, why don't we kill him?" Because he was asking for it. His shows are violent, and they taught us how to be violent in this. But that reminds me. So you guys don't know how many times I have had a drunk girl that I won't let into a bar tell me, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm like, no, you're not.
I believe it. Yeah, we're talking about you're a bouncer at a bar.
Yes.
Yeah, that probably happens.
Now this is on a much larger scale. So they walked into this guy's house. In this movie, the guy has already beat up Bruce Lee. He's a stunt man, and he was, killed his wife, and he's like a war hero. So the absurdity that some hippies are going to walk in and kill this guy, him and his pit bull, and the guy who has a flamethrower is.
Well, you don't know about the flamethrower, and he's on drugs at this point, so you think maybe that'll be his downfall.
That's what I thought. I thought he was going to get killed, but then it turned out it's like, okay.
It just made him stronger.
Yeah, it's like none of you people can actually. What
was the point of him tripping for that whole thing?
It's because it was like, I think it was to subvert your expectations, because you thought, oh, that's going to be his downfall, is that he's on drugs.
Yeah, but
it made him stronger.
It pretty much, this whole movie pretty much was, okay, I'm just going to throw something here. I'm going to throw something here. I was a fan of Bruce Lee, so I want to put Bruce Lee in that because he was a part of Hollywood. What? I really like these old Western television shows, so I want to put that in there.
Yeah.
It's like, I like this stuff, but I don't understand how it all fits together.
It doesn't.
It doesn't fit together.
It doesn't at all.
It's his mind.
It doesn't. That's my point. The whole thing is for him to work out.
Maybe if this was like two separate movies.
This is what he jerks off to. This is why I was angry. He fleeced Hollywood for $100 million to make this thing just so he could fucking jerk off to it.
I wonder. I honestly wonder if anybody ever asked him, why is the camera on my feet? Why are you?
So he can jerk off.
Yeah, like somebody like Margot Robbie has got to be at home going, this guy's a fucking freak. You know, and I don't want to offend anybody that has a foot
scenes
fetish.
he has for his personal collection.
Oh God, the outtakes.
Sure.
She was probably there all day with those foot scenes. Like, are we done yet? No, we need one more angle.
He's like, no, yeah, just one more angle. And so all of that is not on the cutting room floor; it's on the floor of his bedroom. And so he does the same thing with Uma Thurman. And
Look, I enjoyed it for what it was. I don't think it needed to be
Jackie
3
Brown.
hours. The length could have been to 2 for sure, but it's Quentin Tarantino, especially if you're putting a mark of, this is my second to last movie I'm ever doing. It's kind of like, we got to, provide that respect to it and watch it, that kind of thing. But then I already know what's going to happen. He's going to be like, surprise, I'm not actually retiring, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, why would he? He's still got some stuff he wants to do, but it's like you said. So he's been able to make. He wanted to be a filmmaker his whole life, and he's been able to make those type of films that he's always wanted to. He made a blaxploitation film with Jackie Brown. He made a western, 2 westerns with The Hateful Eight and Django.
I like Django though.
Django's bad.
I'm not saying it.
I actually don't remember anything about it.
I liked it. I still enjoyed it. I more enjoyed the actor who played the professor, the German professor guy.
Christoph.
Yeah, exactly. And
you'll like Inglourious Bastards. He's great in that.
Oh, I didn't know he was in that.
He's good in that, but I didn't like Inglourious Bastards was another one that's too long. And
it is too long.
Yeah, and at the end, like
that opening scene's amazing though.
Yeah, it is. But he even said that was his Saving Private Ryan. I was like, how so? Man, I don't get it. But he really, I mean, to have the power to say, okay, I don't like the fact that I don't like the fact that Hitler was able to take his own life. I think that American soldiers should have killed him. So that's the way he wrote it. Like American soldiers actually killed him.
I'm okay with the revenge, movie about killing Hitler. Yeah. That I can get behind. I just don't give a shit about Charles Manson.
Yeah, see, that's the way I was.
Sharon Tate was, I'm sure, a great person. The fact that she was murdered at 8.5 months pregnant is a horrible thing.
I'll tell you something. If you
kids who are in a brainwashed, fucked up cult with ties to CIA, I think.
Yeah.
This is the Illuminati corner?
This is the Illuminati corner. Oh, dude, I've been on a tear with this whole Epstein thing past month.
Oh,
the what?
Don't get me started on that shit.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh God.
I'm not sure that guy is actually dead.
I was going to say, do you guys think he's dead? Will you believe it if you see a picture of his body on autopsies.com kind of thing?
No, because Rick Baker could make that exact same thing and make it look just like him. But
I don't know. He has a lot of information, and they're probably like, "You're not worth our sacrifice." So they found broken bones around his neck.
Yeah,
right.
Well, that's what they say. So here's my thing. Either he is dead and he was killed, but he did not commit suicide.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No,
or he was switched out and disappeared.
Exactly.
I think he was.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't affect our lives, obviously.
Well, no, actually, because this is what I said. This is what I said about him. I was like, I don't think he committed suicide. But in the long run, fuck him. He's a monster. I hope he is dead.
Well, this is all the politicians are involved too.
Right. And this is why the Tarantino thing pissed me off because this goes really deep. Government, banking, Hollywood, all this shit. They're involved in really, really fucked up stuff. And to throw that Tarantino's flaunting it on film, you could be into that shit for real. You don't know at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't go with that expectation. I was just going into. I wasn't trying to read too deep.
And he was buddy with Weinstein.
Yeah.
Oh,
they were super good friends.
Yeah, because he
started them off.
His movies were on the Weinstein.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
But you know what? So
he introduced him to feet.
Probably.
And probably his own feet. So,
ew.
Listen, if you go into any Quentin Tarantino movie, you have to be like, okay.
You have to be open.
This is about to be some revenge porn bullshit.
Yeah.
Some people were surprised, the twist or whatever. The Indian was like, "Really? Did you not see Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
This is kind of what he does."
No, probably not.
There were no real twist in this movie. The only thing weird about it was the fact that they said that Brad Pitt may or may not have killed his wife, and they have that scene.
Yeah,
and then they never say. I was like, why was that thrown in? That's kind of weird.
I like that they don't tell you. Like you have to make that decision for yourself.
How did she die? Like it's like okay.
You didn't see the harpoon?
Yeah, the harpoon was pointed at her. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. When she was yelling at him, he was just sitting there.
She was just bitching.
Yeah, and they shot it from that perspective. The
is
harpoon
that like
was
a nod
right
to what is it? The actor that like he went
Natalie
on the boat?
Wood. And,
Natalie Wood. Yeah.
And then,
is that a nod to that?
That's what I thought of. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's why. So that's Quentin Tarantino's little dig going. Yeah, you killed your wife.
So,
that's what,
and so this is what I took away from the ending of this movie, and this is where I think it's this whole Illuminati corner connection, where what's his face, Leo DiCaprio is this washed up actor. He's going nowhere, and he wants to like get in with Polanski and that whole crew, but he's kind of washed up, and he can't, and he doesn't until he fries like a chick with a flamethrower, and he does some heinous shit, and then he lets in through the gate. Now he's in with the crowd. So I think the message there is you got to do something kind of fucked up before you're let in to the inner circle.
I think
violence is the answer to the problem. And
if you make all
of his movies, really,
if you make a film with a characterization of Roman Polanski in it. That's pretty brave and pretty much thumbing your nose.
And he's all like suave and super cool.
Yeah, because
never diddled the 14-year-old or whatever.
Because people, I mean, like that's.
Well, this would have been before that.
Yeah, and you notice Roman Polanski has not been back to America because
isn't he in jail? He's in jail. Right?
No, he's in his other country.
He actually made a
I thought
movie.
they actually put him in jail.
No, they never put him in jail. He left and never came back.
There's some. I don't remember. There's a movie he made a few years ago. I don't remember the name of it.
Was Christoph Waltz?
I don't remember.
There's the
spy thing.
Oh no.
I remember very little about it, but basically the message of that movie is like this hidden whatever powers that be can fucking get to whoever you are, wherever you are.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen. So talking about Jeffrey Epstein. It's amazing to me that at this point he had like a ledger with all these names in it. Uh-huh. You'll never see that. No, nobody will ever see that because everybody's on that thing. Like everybody. Yeah. So like everybody in Hollywood and I said this. Nobody has a private island except pedophiles and Bond villains. Okay? Yeah. Why would you have a private island? Which is why Donald Trump wants to buy Greenland, I think. So he can have
a giant private island. Stupid. Yeah. Did he really think he could buy?
Well, actually, you know what? President Truman tried to.
Yeah, they tried to do this in the 40s.
But
two presidents.
I think, for him, it was like it's going to be a military stronghold, you know. But
he wanted to change it to Trump land.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, you can't buy an island that's owned by another country. You can't just say we want it unless you're at war and you just capture it.
Well, we bought Alaska. We got Puerto Rico.
Hawaii.
Yeah, because but they said yes, we will. Yeah,
they're like no, it's not for sale.
And see, and that's the thing. So Greenland is owned by Denmark, I believe.
Yeah,
and so when they said no, Trump was like, "What do you mean no?"
What do you mean?
Yeah, he got upset.
Yeah, he got upset. No, well, I'm not going to come over there. I was like, thank you.
They're probably like, fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, they're like, good. Okay,
right, we got our answer. You don't have to burn any steak then. Great.
Yeah.
All right, so the question
but anyway,
is,
we digress.
When this movie comes out to purchase, I'm going to purchase it. I enjoyed it. Am I going to watch it every week? No, but
I don't think I could.
So my wife told me, I don't know what her source is on this, but the director's cut is going to be 4 hours long.
Oh my god!
And I feel like we should make Paul watch this as a feature.
I don't want to kill him.
Be like a Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
What else?
Great movie, by the way.
What else could possibly?
Can you imagine
be
like what he thought wasn't quite good enough?
Yeah,
and it's all feet.
Well, if that Bruce Lee scene is in there, then I'm on board.
It's like all the driving is in real time.
Yeah.
You know what? I would not be surprised if that scene is in there.
That's the other thing that the guy on Reddit wrote about that scene is like the thing that got cut out is this big monologue by Manson about this coming race war that he was obsessed with.
Yeah. Well, eventually, because he shot all that stuff, so eventually it'll be on YouTube somewhere. It'll come out.
I don't know if I believe all that, but
I don't either.
What that he shot
like all that was actually part of the movie at some point.
I don't know because it would have been because Quentin Tarantino's really focused on race a lot too. So I think that would be something he would throw.
Yeah, but
in.
it's like it's kind of absent from this movie.
Well, that's what the guy. That's what the guy on Reddit was saying. Like, how was there like not one N-word in this movie?
Yeah. There's that one line about don't cry in front of the Mexicans.
Yeah, well, if you listen to Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, they're both very racist with what they're saying, but it's just kind of matter of fact. And to be perfectly honest, for two guys in Hollywood in 1969, it's like, yeah, that's exactly the way they'd be talking. When he was like, "Don't cry in front of the Mexicans," that's exactly the way they would talk. So it's a lot to swallow because
it is.
It's so like honestly. This is the first movie in a long time that I actually almost just walked out because it was.
Wait a minute, I thought you liked it though.
This movie. You saw it twice.
I ended up liking it for different parts. I liked it because of the acting, but like when you're sitting in the theater, the first 45 minutes, I was like, "This is obviously going nowhere." And
like all the shit with Pacino.
Yeah, I just like he was completely wasted. And to be perfectly honest, I sat in that movie and I was just waiting for the scene with Bruce Lee. I wanted to see that scene.
And then it made you mad.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I really want to walk out.
Then it made me angry, and then I went and used the restroom and got some more popcorn.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You guys are like, okay, I'm hungry, and I spent like $14 on this ticket, and I'm halfway through.
So I forced myself to finish watching it, and I liked the end just because it was so absurd. It was like, this is funny, and then,
One of my favorite scenes, it's a small thing, but I thought it was a nice touch is when they're hanging out at Leo's house watching a show that he's going to be on, and they're like doing commentary over the TV. I kind of like that. That was a nice little touch.
That was a crazy move, Shark. You opened the beer with your forearm.
Yeah,
I mean, those are all muscles, dude.
No, but it hurts.
That's why the lady sat next to him. Moves like that.
That's why the 70-year-old woman, she saw you. You brought a beer in the theater, and she's like,
that's why she kept touching your arm.
She's like,
it's like, open me up.
Hey, big guy, can you open this beer for me?
Hey, Wakanda Forever, can you take care of this for me, please?
So a couple of things that I thought were odd. They didn't necessarily bother me, but like they inserted Leo into like old movies.
Yeah.
They could have did that for Margot for the Sharon Tate stuff, but they actually left Sharon Tate in the movies. I thought that was kind of weird. And that Kurt Russell is a character in this movie, but he also does the narration at the end.
That's true.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of weird.
It's what he has.
Like it doesn't bother me. Well, it kind of bothers me, but
Quentin Tarantino also has a fixation on like washed up Hollywood actors, and he brings them back, like Kurt Russell.
What's his face was in this 90210 guy.
Oh, Luke Perry.
Luke Perry was awesome. Yeah. That was my favorite part of this movie.
You're like, you made a comment. I'm like, oh, he's dead. You're like, oh,
I forgot.
You know what? I must have went to the bathroom when he was on screen.
It was during
he was a cowboy. He was in the
was,
TV show that they were shooting.
Yeah, with the girl.
I don't remember seeing
like
him.
he was kidnapping.
He was kind of like toned down to earth guy. He wasn't overacting or anything, but he just had a good presence.
The little girl was a really good actress, like for like being a kid to get that sort of, that sort of.
At first, I didn't think she was real. I thought that was like a figment of his imagination, or something. But I mean, obviously, she was there in the end.
Yeah,
for the
filming. You know what I didn't understand is that in this movie, Leonardo DiCaprio is supposed to be like a washed up actor. But he's really not washed up. He keeps getting a bunch of roles, and they want him to go to Italy and be in movies and stuff.
Italian westerns.
Spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
That's like
but he's doing TV shows.
That's like a rock band that's big in Germany.
Yeah.
But
David Hasselhoff.
So if I were an actor and somebody said we want to fly you to Italy and pay you a lot of money to be in spaghetti westerns, okay, why not?
It's a different caliber.
That'll be a step up for you now. But if you were doing Hollywood movies, that's a step down.
It's like going to Vegas for your music career, right?
Yeah.
If you're getting residency, like Britney Spears residency, whatever.
Santana's got one of those.
But I think, Eric, to answer your question, I think the reason why they kept Sharon Tate, I think was due out of respect for her, especially the way she was murdered. And,
could have been.
I think if he did replace her with Margot Robbie, he would have also faced, well, why did you take her out? Like, how come, I think they did it out of respect. So
I also like the fact that he did show like the Manson family, these hippies, were just a bunch of idiots. Like, I love the fact that he was beating the shit out of that guy who flattened his tire.
Oh yeah.
And you hear the girls in the background going, "He's a flower! Don't hurt him! He's a flower!"
Dude, we have that caliber of people that are grown ass people like that, right?
Absolutely.
Most of them live in Los Angeles.
They honestly do. Like, so the scene where he picks the girl up and she's hitchhiking. I see that every time I go to LA. There are like 16-year-old girls like running around all like hippie with their, I want to yell out the windows like, "You're gonna die! Somebody's gonna drive you up in the mountains and kill you." Yeah, like it doesn't. You know,
and if they catch you picking him up, that dude's going to get arrested for picking a hitchhiker. Okay,
that's another side point. Any guy that's driving along a highway, I don't care if it's in LA, wherever, if there's a young girl out there with her thumb out and he stops to pick her up, he is up to no good. He's not doing that out of the goodness of his heart. He's like, here's my next victim. And
I'm going to get something for this ride.
Exactly.
I know.
Not Brad Pitt, though. He's all heart.
He was like, no, I'm going this way. But if I happen to see you again,
normally one should turn down perfect good poontang, but...
First off... No. First of all, her hairy armpits kind of shocked me a little bit.
Don't forget the feet.
And
there was a lot of feet hairy feet for her.
Yeah, and her feet were filthy. Why?
She
walks around barefoot. Of course, she's filthy.
Well, okay, if I was Andy McDowell's mom and I see Quentin Tarantino focusing on my daughter's feet, I would feel very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
Jerking off to those feet.
You know, and I'm sure he didn't show Uma Thurman's daughter with no feet because he has respect for Uma Thurman, so he's not.
Well, he's got her feet on tape.
He's got her feet.
He has respect for Uma Thurman's feet.
I didn't realize.
No, I know, but for her daughter,
that's in the extended cut.
Oh, probably. Yeah. Now I'm going to buy this
the extended cut's just all feet.
Yeah, Paul's going to buy this movie not for the movie, but for the extended cuts to see how many feet scenes there are.
I'm surprised he hasn't made a movie just called Feet. It's like an animated.
That's his last movie.
Feet.
That's actually his last film was going to be a bunch of feet.
That's probably what it's going to be.
Inglorious Bunions.
You do notice that. So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has spoken out against this.
Yeah, I saw his article. Was it in Esquire?
No. Yeah. Because of him,
they were in a film together.
Well, they were really good friends.
Okay.
Yeah, they trained. Kareem trained with him. But I noticed that Quentin Tarantino has not responded to what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has said.
What did he say? Do you remember?
He said it was completely disrespectful, and he said, "I understand it's a fantasy. You can do what you want." He's like, "But that's not the way Bruce was."
What did he think was going to happen? Like Bruce Lee's one of the most beloved pop culture personalities ever. Yeah. He's going to shit on him.
He thought he was doing him a favor for putting him in the movie. But he thought that was honor enough, probably.
He hasn't responded because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will go over his house and whoop his ass.
He's like, in his 70s now or
he's
60s?
Like 72.
And I would still be scared of him.
Absolutely.
Because he still looks almost the same.
He's still 9 feet tall.
Yeah. Absolutely. But see, that's the thing. Quentin Tarantino, I think, is at the point where he's like, I don't care what people think. I'll do whatever I want. So, like how are they going to...
Idiots keep giving me money.
Yeah, but it's like you said, like he's supposed to do...
Especially after Planet
He's supposed to do the Star Trek movie.
I've never seen that, but there's a reason why I never saw that.
I doubt very seriously that they'll probably hire him and he'll start shooting
He's not going to do it.
And they're going to be like, no.
That's not going to happen.
Do we want to put a bet on it? I bet $1 he's still going to do it.
I think that he will start doing it, and they're
going to cut him out.
The executives will see the dailies and be like,
they're going to see Star Trek feet, and they're going to be like, no, we can't do this.
Isn't Star Trek Disney as well?
No,
it isn't
Paramount.
Is it Paramount? Okay.
Well, it's split. There's like it's like Paramount and CBS.
It will eventually be Disney. Yeah, they'll eventually
give it another year.
Yeah. I am excited about the Picard show that's coming on.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too.
That's going to be cool.
What is it going to be called?
Picard. Yeah.
Picard?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's
got a dog.
Piccolo.
I don't know if the dog attacks people's balls in it or not. But
that's always fierce. Like, I want a dog like that.
So, overall, for me, this movie had a couple of nice scenes in it. I thought the Bruce Lee stuff was bullshit. Although the guy he played Bruce Lee very well.
I can't believe you guys saw this twice, man.
Well, okay, so
and Amy's going to buy the DVD.
I am,
apparently.
And I'm going to maybe
She's
watch
got more
it
money than she knows what to do.
Oh God, that $24.99. Shoot, all that beer I can buy with. But
I did watch it twice, but I watched it like at home streaming, and I was like, let me just fast.
Yeah, no, the home streaming. I was actually doing other work, so I was.
I need
more
a fan edit this movie that's like 40 minutes, and then I'd watch it.
Yeah,
I don't know, like Shark's texts are completely different than what he's saying. Like, I thought you were going to be like,
well, no, because when I initially watched it, I was like, this is a good movie.
Okay. And then you thought about it. Watched it again.
Did I just remember? I thought you said it was your favorite of the year.
No, I don't think I said that.
I don't know.
Okay. What I said was it's really long. I said it's really long, but Brad Pitt was excellent in the movie, and it was fun to watch him. But as I sat and thought about it and then watched it a second time, I was like, this movie's actually kind of bullshit.
So let's do this. Going forward, before we rate a movie, can you watch it a second time and then give us your truth?
Every movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, okay. We have to work off the premise, first of all, that most movies now are bullshit anyway.
Dude, okay, so let's talk about Disney really quick. I'm a Disney fan, but oh, by the way, I'm gonna do their streaming service just because I do want to see the new Star Wars series going on. Forgot the name of it. And they have like
the
Moonlight,
Mandalorian, right?
Yeah, Moonlight, She-Hulk, and Miss Marvel. But anyway, long story short, so thank God they're not putting this in theaters because I would be extremely pissed off. Lady and the Tramp, live action, quote unquote, looks really bad. And
we need
I'm
it though.
Is that for the TV? Is that
that's
for the streaming
their
service?
streaming service. If they were going to put it in the theaters, it looks. Ooh.
Did anyone see Aladdin?
I did.
No.
I did.
I haven't seen
It
it.
was.
If I had to sit through 2 hours of Will Smith,
you
I
would
think
not
I
like
would
it.
kill
You
myself.
would not. Will Smith would
Is he
piss
blue
you
or
off.
black in it?
He's both.
What do you mean both?
He's both.
How's he both?
He can go into genie blue and then go into human form, which he's black.
So if you want to, like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a masochist. I like to watch things that piss me off for some reason. So
I want to feel pain even more.
For some reason, I enjoy being
Dig
angry.
that
You hit yourself deep down.
I don't know why that is, but
put some salt on
Will
it.
Smith now is like, he's got this whole thing on YouTube where he's just documenting his whole life.
Oh, he's becoming his son?
Yeah. So he has this whole thing on his son's 21st birthday, and it is the most pretentious bullshit you've ever seen. And his son, I would really like to get this kid around the neck and just like choke the shit out of him, and watch his eyes go lifeless. But
he's
isn't
an that most Hollywood kids now?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
but
I can't.
But here's the thing about him. So there are actual adults, because he tries to say all this deep stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like you're 21, and he's been doing this since he was like 15, and adults are like, yeah, I can see that. I'm like, you're 15. You don't know shit. Yeah, and you're a rich kid. You don't have a real life. So how are you, like, he said something about the state of education and how it's good that he's homeschooled and all this. It's like, shut up.
Does he even go to school?
No, I don't think so.
He doesn't. And he has a song and a video called Icon, where he's just singing about himself being an icon. And I'm like, you don't get to call yourself an icon.
Nah, his dad's an icon. He's not an icon.
Yeah. His father is an icon, but he isn't. He's a jackass who runs around in a Batman suit.
I would rather watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again than watch a Will Smith YouTube channel.
It's terrible.
That sounds
like
a bad
Boys
time.
3 is coming out. So
That's right.
Oh, so my point with Disney is they're now just taking the old classics and remaking it, and it's like now Hollywood has no imagination. There's nothing.
None.
There's nothing original anymore, and it's extremely sad because that's what. But I think now, like,
That's because they're all pedophiles.
there's a lot more we don't know about, and I know this, but at the same time, it's like that's creating the creativity and the imagination of kids now. So it's like we're either gonna definitely fuck up society in 20 years from now, or they're gonna be so numb to it, and then they're gonna have an idea, and it's gonna be the most brilliant thing ever, and it's gonna be like, no. Like,
it's okay. Climate change is going to claim us all.
Yeah, we'll be gone by it. Yeah,
I hope so. Actually,
I haven't seen The Lion King, but
me neither. I've never seen the original.
I actually watched it.
I saw the original.
Oh, I've
which
never
is
seen
good.
the original.
So I don't see the point in remaking it. And from what I've heard, all it is, it's a commercial for Beyonce's new album.
Okay. So let me say this. All right, I'm going to say this. The beginning scene is a screenshot of the original. With live action, really good CGI. It actually was really emotional because it brought me back to 94 when I watched it with my grandmother in the theater. Beyonce is the worst voiceover actress ever.
And the problem
is, the problem is they can't tell her no, or you need to work on something because it's Beyonce. So everything she does is, okay, that works. Let's go ahead and print it. And I'm like, this is the worst voice acting I have ever heard. And one thing I appreciate, so
hire a Beyonce impersonator.
Yeah,
that's not. No,
do you know how much shit I get because of the fact that I don't like Beyonce?
I just think she has talent.
Yeah.
She has talent. She's just overhyped.
She
That's
is
the problem.
okay.
You could never run for president.
A horrible human being.
But see, this is the thing with her. So she's extremely talented.
Kylie Jenner.
She's extremely talented. She can sing. She can dance.
Yeah.
She's very beautiful.
Yes.
But I don't like her songs. So
right.
and so when I say I don't like her music, people are like, she's really talented. I'm like, Yeah, but I don't like her songs. I get she's talented.
Like everything.
I can watch her dance. I can listen to her sing, but I don't like her songs.
I read a conspiracy theory that she had Aaliyah killed.
Possibly, but I explained it to people like this.
Feet?
I think
oh my God.
they're
probably gnarly.
They're probably very gnarly from all the dancing and high heels.
That's probably true.
Can we title this?
That's why she's not in the Quentin Tarantino movie.
Can we title this episode somehow feet related?
The agony of defeat.
Oh, shit, nice. Agony of defeat.
Yeah, can we just do that? But no, so that's what I'm saying. Like Hollywood now, it's not just Disney. It's just there's no creativity.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I am okay with that.
Ooh, getting there, yeah. Getting there.
Holly Footsie?
Ooh. Okay, but no, anyway, yeah, feet, not into. Yeah, okay, this movie, I would totally buy.
For the record.
I would buy it just because I did enjoy it. I'm not saying it's a perfect movie. I enjoyed the acting. I think Leonardo does need to be nominated. I really enjoyed his acting scenes within acting scenes, so I enjoyed it. I'm not going to watch this movie, obviously, every week. Not going to happen, but I would buy it.
You know what this movie would do for me is if it's on Netflix or whatever, which I think it's going to be.
It's going to be because Django was on there for the longest
I think
time.
what it's going to make me do is, like, after the first 20 minutes go, I think I want to watch Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to make me.
I think I want to watch Reservoir
Kill
Dogs.
Bill,
yeah,
you know.
I can already tell you I will never watch this thing again.
Until he's forced out of the Clockwork Orange.
I'll give it a shrug.
What if they gave you an extra 20 minutes of possibly the ending that we were told about in Reddit?
That that doesn't excite me either.
Okay, so you wouldn't watch it even if it said, okay, here's the alternate ending.
Unless you dramatically change the 75% in front of that.
Okay, and they have this whole, so I guess Quentin Tarantino doesn't allow
some of the stuff
cell phones on his set ever. Like, even the executives, they can't bring their cell phones. And I'm fully convinced because he doesn't want anybody doing a hidden video of him jacking off to Margot Robbie's feet.
Probably.
But
now we have glasses with cameras on it.
That's true.
So, you know.
That's why he's getting out of the movie business.
He's like, they found some shit on me.
Okay, I want to go with Paul on this conspiracy stuff for a second. Is anybody else convinced, like, so you have your computer, that there's a camera and you're constantly being watched?
All the time.
I built my own computer. I know there's not a camera in it.
See, there you go.
But I
can look at all the feet pictures I want.
So I will say, like, through
your phone
Instagram,
is simply a tracking device.
Yeah, no,
well,
I believe the whole Instagram and Facebook. They know exactly when I'm not even looking shit up on my phone. Stuff is.
You'll see ads for shit you talk about.
Yeah. And I never looked it up.
I've been watching Krypton. I haven't Googled it. I've just been watching it, like, on the TV, and, like, my phone gives me, like, Google notification, new episode of Krypton out tonight.
Yeah.
Like,
and
it's listening to my fucking TV.
Yeah, I totally believe that. I believe, but you know what? I don't care, because it's kind of like when I did one of those DNA tests. My mom's like, why'd you do that?
Oh, don't do that.
No. But here's the thing. My hair sheds every day. I chew gum. You can get my DNA, and if you really want it that bad, I don't care.
Well, then I for that I say, well, and if you want it that bad, then come get it.
That's
but I'm not going to give it to you.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Do you guys have one of the new Xboxes?
No.
Okay. Apparently, they found out that thing listens to you.
Oh,
does it?
Yeah.
Like the people. What's the little things you put in your house?
Alexa.
Oh, I don't have those.
Why anybody would do that? I'm like,
I got offered one for free. I'm like, nope.
I'm like, you just put a microphone in your house and everyone is listening to everything.
I already have my phone for that. That's okay. They're going to hear the most weird conversations.
It's like my roommate. My roommate says the dumbest stuff because I'm like, I don't want to go on Amazon and buy something because I don't want them to have my credit card number. He's like, well, you use it at the store, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, then they already have your number. I'm like, okay, fine, but so I should just go. They have it already, so I should just give it to them. Like I'm going to eventually be robbed, so I should just say, hey, come on in the house, take all my shit.
Yeah,
or like the DNA thing, because for the last 2 years,
the DNA thing's crazy that people are doing that like willingly.
And there's been so many commercials like Ancestry.com. I'm like, why are they pushing this so hard?
It's 50% off all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Such a good deal.
I don't mind it. Like, it's whatever to me. Like, I'm 40, whatever. I'm not.
I'm 42 now.
Oh, yeah.
40 also. Sorry.
You guys are babies.
All right, here's a conspiracy for you. So imagine there's a Thanos that's not a supernatural god-type creature, but just some asshole that has the ability to release a genetically specific virus into the population. And they got
it.
And
Trumpos.
Oh, God.
Trumpos.
All right, got it.
Have you seen the TV show Counterpart?
No.
Yeah.
You guys should watch that with J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, that show's fucking good.
That show is fucking great.
You know, I think I did see
it's only
the first episode.
It's only 2 seasons. You guys should totally watch that.
Honestly, you guys, if you haven't seen The Boys, you should check that out.
Right. I am going to watch. That's the theater, the movie that's in the theater now.
Right? No. It's on Netflix. It's on Amazon.
It's Carl Urban.
Oh no, I'm thinking Good Boys. Yeah. I'm sorry, you watch Good Boys in the theater though.
Yeah,
right?
that's Seth Rogen.
I know, but I want to watch it just because it's Seth Rogen. So
also, you guys should watch a TV show called Patriot. That's on Amazon. It's amazing.
Wait, that sounds familiar. The guy that's kind of like this
he's
hitman.
Got PTSD.
Like he's a hitman, but he's just like he wants to get out of it, but he can't.
So
that's a good show.
That's a really good show.
Let me give you like a little piece
hilarious.
of this show, The
His
Boys.
brother?
So in the first episode, it's
is this the
Boys? Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like it's accepted that there are superheroes, right?
Okay.
And everybody thinks the superheroes are great, but this group called The Boys know that they're actually like these psychopathic killers and assholes. So Carl Urban, he takes the guy to an underground superhero club, and when you walk in, they're like having sex in the air, they're flying, and they're in midair doing coke and shit. And there's one guy, he's called the Evangelist. He's supposed to be like this a priest superhero, and he speaks out against gays and all this stuff. And when you walk in the scene, they show him like he makes like Mr. Elastic. He slides up underneath the table and he starts blowing 2 guys.
Oh my god!
The show is,
and that's the first episode.
That's the first episode.
Okay, I'm totally watching.
Yeah, that's the first episode. It's hilarious.
I will watch that.
Is Carl Urban a superhero? Or is he against the superheroes?
He's against the superheroes because the main superhero killed his wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, so the way the show
does he
starts,
play Judge Dredd at all in this? By chance?
No, he's actually really good in this.
He's great in Judge Dredd.
I didn't know that he's English.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at all. But in the first episode, the reason the one guy joins his little group is because he's in the street talking to his girl and he's holding his hands, and one of the superheroes is chasing somebody and runs by and runs into her and just explodes her.
Oh, I did see that in the preview.
Yeah, and so he's just left her. He's holding her arms.
He's like, and then the guy's like, "Oh, sorry," or whatever.
But he doesn't even say sorry.
He just runs off.
He's like, yeah. And they want to give him $50,000 to don't say anything about it and blah blah blah. And so they're called the Seven. They're the main superheroes. So there's one girl. She's a young superhero, and everybody wants to join the Seven. Her name is Starlight or something like that. So
you can't join the Seven. They're called the Seven.
Yeah,
they're tapped out.
Well, no, because one of them is gone. So one of them died, so that one's gone. So they need a new one.
So they got to fill her. Okay.
Yeah. So they get her. And she's like, "Oh, this is great. I've always wanted to do this." And the first thing she does, the guy tells her, "If you want to be in the Seven, you have to blow me."
Oh god!
It's
so
crazy.
Gross.
Yeah, and she ends up doing it. So.
Well, I mean, if you
gotta get that spot.
Yeah. Again,
that's how Aquaman got in the Justice League.
There is an Aquaman character in The Boys. He's called the Deep.
The Deep.
Yeah. I wonder if he goes that
the deep throat.
Eventually, yeah.
You guys remember Aquaman? That fucking thing.
Aquaman is on HBO now.
Yes, it is.
And I watched it the other night. And I was like,
you watch it again?
No, because it was on. I was just home and it was on. I was like, this is terrible. Like,
that movie is really, really bad.
It's really bad.
Am I the only one that hasn't seen it?
Don't waste your time.
Did we not do a show on that one?
We talked about it, but I didn't see it.
He didn't see it.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's so bad.
We did kind of review it.
I saw it in the theater. I had a great time watching it. I just say, I haven't laughed that hard at any movie in a long time.
It's stupid.
It's so bad that
ridiculous.
women like Amy, who like you love that guy.
I love Jason Momoa.
But those women that love him are actually turning against him. They're like, this is dumb.
I'm not against him.
He's the only one that's having a good time in that movie.
Because he realizes it's bullshit.
It's ridiculous. Like your first introduction scene, you go in the sub, you hear a guitar riff, he pounces in, he makes that dramatic turn of looking behind him and going, permission to come aboard. Yeah. And I'm like, I lost my shit in the theater.
But so
I'm like,
that
oh
scene,
my God.
That scene, so he does that and it's the guitar thing. And he turns and he says that. Do you know they do that same thing at least 3 times?
Yeah,
in
exactly.
That scene?
That's why I kept losing my
shit. They keep redoing it
because they know it's freaking. And then he was like talking to dolphins, and I get that, and I appreciate that. I just wanted him to ride one.
I like how he's like dumb as dirt, but he's like super smart when he needs to be, like with the looking glass thing. Like in the history, it's like, what the fuck is any of this?
Actually, this guy was just a general. He wasn't a king. It's like, how the fuck do you know, fish boy?
We had like 8 writers on this who didn't talk to each other.
I mean, Jason Momoa is like, you know what? I'm a DC hero.
Yeah.
This is extra money while I'm not filming. I'm just gonna I follow him on Instagram.
Who's Superman now?
Oh no, there was no
because they teased him in Shazam, right?
They just showed a torso. They didn't say, or there was no voice.
I did see Shazam.
I did like Shazam though.
That's pretty good.
I liked it.
I'm not.
Yeah, I refuse.
I'm not going to.
You should, Shark. I think you actually might like it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, come on. If you saw Aquaman and you watched it again on HBO,
Aquaman.
Well,
it's
you know what?
way better.
Is it funnier than Aquaman?
Okay.
Hell yes. It's really good.
I haven't seen Aquaman, but I imagine it's funnier.
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe.
Me saying I watched it again
is a laugh
is a misnomer. It was on
dinosaurs in that movie.
You could watch anything on TV at that moment in time. You chose Aquaman on
You know what's really
HBO.
bad? At that point of that day, Aquaman might have been the best thing on, which is really bad.
You turn off that TV, you put on some jazz.
It's like 50-50 against Aquaman versus Judge Judy.
Yeah. I mean, I would have rather watched Divorce Court, to be honest.
Smoke a joint and look at somebody's feet.
I would have watched more. No, I think
I got a director's cut for you coming out.
Hey, I don't like feet, though. That's the problem. But no, all right. So, Shark, you're kind of Paul absolutely hates it. Erik does not like it.
I'm a shrug. I don't... No, I like it. There's some really good moments.
Were you able to forget that Leo DiCaprio was Leo DiCaprio when he was acting his balls off?
I think this is the best acting I've seen from him.
Yeah,
he's a good actor.
He's a great actor. Is it The Revenant? Is that the
bear one?
The bear one?
Yeah, The Revenant. Yeah.
I've never seen
This is the best he's done since then, I would say.
So there is a trend, though. So margaritas is a trend of drinks because it was in Kill Bill when his what's the one guy in the trailer? I forgot his name. But he would make Bud. He would make margaritas with that old school like ice cube.
Tray, yeah.
Same thing in the movie. So I'm like, okay, there's like, even though it's probably set in that time frame.
Yeah, I know people talk about like the connective tissue between all his movies, how it's the same universe.
I would like to see different actors.
I don't give a shit about it.
Like you always see, cigarettes. It's like red something.
Red apples.
Red apples.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
Oh, that was funny though when he was like, "This piece of shit" when he was doing it at the end of the credits.
Yeah.
He was like, "Why'd you?"
I didn't see it. I heard there was an after credits.
Yeah, there was a little bit of an after credits scene.
I wanted to get the hell out of there when that movie was done.
So it's like he's doing this like commercial for Red Apple.
Oh no, I did see that.
And then there's a standee, and he's like, "Yeah, it's good." And then afterwards, they're like, "Cut," and he's like, "This is so disgusting." He's like, "Who shot this picture of this standee? Like, I have a double chin," and he punches it. That was kind of funny though.
Yeah, I think I'm glad I didn't see that because it didn't sound such a good note for him. I don't need to see him being a dick about some commercial.
I mean, he's actually. I think they're mocking the Hollywood actors who seem like this lovable person that's always nice, and after you turn off the camera, they're just complete assholes.
I think if you were born in the 50s, you'll like seeing all the old Hollywood shit, and that's probably about it.
And I wasn't born in the 50s, and I still enjoyed seeing like old school.
If you don't care about that time period, you're gonna be about this movie. That's what I said.
It's in it. I don't think.
Besides, I do appreciate they never said Charles Manson in this movie.
They just said Manson, right?
No, they said Charlie.
Charlie Manson. Yeah. Okay.
You need to meet Charlie.
Probably because they probably would have gotten some issues with that.
Here's the weird thing that like Manson never actually killed anybody.
No.
But he's like the famous serial killer. Yeah. What happened to those kids in real life? Did they
all went to jail?
Some of them are still the ones in the car that the ones that
Squeaky from.
Yeah, there's some of them are still alive.
Yeah, most of them are still alive. All of them went to jail, except for the ones that did the killing now went to jail. Yeah,
the other ones who escaped wrote books.
And they would like sing in court. It was really weird.
Yeah, they were fucking. Really? Yeah. If you can find the documentary Helter Skelter.
That's right. They were singing, right?
Yeah. They did
up,
that.
Man.
The greatest thing though was Frank Sinatra because Frank Sinatra grew up with gangsters and thugs and shit, and he was pretty much in the mob. So there was this whole thing where Charles Manson was like, from prison, he was like, yeah, we hate Frank Sinatra and we're going to get him and blah, 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 blah. And they interviewed Frank Sinatra and he's like, what do you think about the whole Charles Manson thing wants his family to kill you, and he goes, let him out. Let him out. Tell him to come get me. I thought that was awesome because he's like, yeah, I'm more of a thug than he is. I'll have him killed in prison.
So you brought up a really good point and made me think of Queen and Rocket Man. So if they were going to make a Frank Sinatra movie, which they probably will,
they've made that already, but it was like made for TV.
In the theaters, like legit. Who would make a good Frank Sinatra?
William Shatner.
Will Smith.
I say Keanu Reeves, but whatever.
Keanu Reeves.
No,
Will Smith.
William Shatner can sing.
They probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
we need a young Frank Sinatra because we need to go through the period.
William Shatner CG.
I don't think that movie. I don't think that movie will ever get made because Frank Sinatra was into some bad shit. Like he's all part of the Kennedys.
I mean, they whitewash everything.
Yeah.
They'll do one after he dies, but it'll be bullshit.
Well, he's already dead. He's been dead for years.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was like, William Shatner's not dead, but yeah, Blue Eyes is like been dead since the 90s.
Sorry. Yeah, he died like in 97, 98.
Yeah.
I think even his son is dead.
Maybe Harry Connick Jr.
That would be good.
He can act, right?
And he sings. Yeah,
well, he's in stuff.
Yeah.
Older. No, I just thought of that because I just think now they're going to start like they made the Marilyn Monroe one with Michelle Williams a while back, and then now we're doing the. I
don't need all these biopics.
I'm just kind of curious.
What did you guys think of Rocket Man?
I've never
seen it.
Yeah.
I thought about
no desire.
I
didn't see the Queen one either.
Queen was good.
I remember complete vanilla. Yeah,
that's like the one I didn't see that we did a show on.
That's another one that pissed me off.
Which one pissed you off?
It sounded like
Queen one.
Queen one.
It sounded like I didn't need to see it, so I never watched it.
I mean, it was okay. Like I wasn't like ooh, but it was.
Well,
right.
I thought it was because it was bullshit. So when they had the scene when they did "We Will Rock You" when he came up with that, I'm like. I felt very seriously that's the way they came up with the idea for that song.
I thought the ending was worth the whole movie, though. The very ending when they did the Farm Aid or
Live Aid,
yeah.
I
liked it.
Just go on YouTube and watch the actual thing.
That's what I'm saying. You compare it to it's actually pretty good.
So Rocket Man actually took a few more chances than, but it was still super formulaic. That's the thing that pisses me off about these movies. Like they literally follow that. Walk
whitewash.
Hard. Walk hard.
Dewey, Dewey, whatever. Yeah.
Cox story, whatever.
Dewey Cox, yeah.
Like they literally follow that formula with every one of these biopics, and they just won't stray from it. Rocket Man, a little bit, kind of tried to be quirky. Yeah. Well, they did it sort of as a musical.
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely can't watch it then. Yeah.
I don't mind musicals, and I love. I do like Elton John. I just, it wasn't in the theater that long when it came out. Like Queen was out longer than Rocket Man.
That's because it was award season.
It was almost the same movie.
Yeah, and I think it came out like right after Queen did, so everyone's like, "Oh, okay. Well, you could have waited a year."
I gotta go see it. But what do you guys want to wreck next?
What's coming out?
Hobbs and Shaw.
No.
Matrix 4.
That's not going to be a while.
Why are they doing that? Why are they making that?
They haven't said Lawrence Fishburne's going to.
Wachowski siblings need money.
Keanu's going to get a sex change. She's going to be.
I mean, after the first Matrix, the rest of them are just complete bullshit. It's like why?
The first one was great.
The first one was
everything
great.
Else,
everything else
terrible.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got one. What about It 2?
I didn't see the first one.
I didn't see the first one. Yeah.
It comes out September 6th.
That's a lot. You're giving me homework now, Amy.
Yeah. I know. I'm sorry. Okay, unless you guys want to watch Hustler with J-Lo on it about a bunch of strippers.
No, I lived that life for 12 years.
I know. I
thought
you
a stripper shark? Yeah, and a damn good one, too.
All right, so Joker comes out October 4th.
I know.
That'll be interesting.
I know half of you guys want to watch that bullshit.
I
Joker?
do.
Yeah, it's written by the same guy that did The Hangover Part 2 and Part 3. So, yeah, you guys enjoy that fucking movie.
Well, they gave it a rated R rating now, so it's now rated R for that. The Matrix,
I'll probably go see it. Damn it!
The Matrix.
I fucking hate myself and go watch it.
The Matrix 20th anniversary.
He does good shit.
He does bad shit too.
What's the bad shit that he's done?
Have you seen the one where he pretended to be a music guy?
Oh no, I didn't watch that.
If you want to see a fucking train wreck, man, you should watch that.
That's why I was like, I'm not watching.
Are we here? Are we still here? Or something? I forget what it's called.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay, what about Rambo: Last Blood? I know you guys want to watch that.
Dear. Is that
When's
real?
That coming out?
Yeah, that comes out September 20th.
Are they shooting it with like camera phones or?
I don't know. I didn't watch any. I know there's some
I've seen
trailers,
a trailer for it,
but I haven't seen it.
I didn't see the reboot of Rocky yet. I didn't see the Rocky or the.
This is a big question that I always have. So let's take Sylvester Stallone, a wildly successful.
He was in porn, by the way.
Yeah, but a wildly successful career. Right, he had a long, great career. It's over. It's over. Don't push yourself. Because you're going to belittle everything you did. Now you look like a clown.
Everybody liked the reboot of Rocky, I thought. I think
Creed.
he was like, I should do everything again.
I liked Creed.
Well, see, that was different. He was playing that part. I'm the old man.
Yeah.
But like,
does he not do that in Creed?
No, that's what he does. But like,
maybe he does that in Rambo.
Same thing in Rambo.
Rambo, Last Blood.
Rambo.
Yeah.
He's not the old guy in Rambo telling Rambo what to do.
It's just like now. So that stupid show, Dancing with the Stars. You guys don't watch a lot. You guys don't watch a lot of football, but Ray Lewis is going to be on Dancing with the Stars. He's an all-pro linebacker, revolutionized the game, and now he's going to be on a show where he dances. It's like, why? He doesn't need money.
Footwork, bro.
He doesn't need money. So I'm like, people are doing this
Tarantino.
just to be in the spotlight. It's just like, let it go. You're done.
All right.
I mean, we really don't have anything major coming up except for the second chapter, which I'm going to totally watch.
I say we all watch Chernobyl and talk about it because that show's fucking amazing.
I've seen
Chernobyl. I will watch that.
You guys should watch Chernobyl.
Do, what was it? The one on
The Boys?
The Boys.
That's awesome.
We can do that. We haven't done a TV show.
And you know what? You'll like it because it's really not a superhero.
If you guys want to do The Boys, I'm down.
Nice try, Eric. Nice try to get some culture into these two.
No, we can watch a good TV show.
We're down to
Chernobyl's on HBO, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have it.
Yeah, I'll watch it, yeah.
I'll try to see if I can stream it, if I can get some episodes on there.
On my Hulu, where they play a commercial every 30 seconds.
Chernobyl, it's only 5 episodes. It's fucking great.
Really? It's only 5?
Yeah, it's a miniseries. It's not that hard to get through. I mean, it's hard to get through.
So we're going to review in December, right? The way things
it'll stick with you when you watch it.
I think we should start wrecking streaming services because they suck.
Well, I'm going to get the
How
Disney
many streaming services do you guys have?
Netflix, Hulu, but I get Hulu for free.
I have Netflix and Hulu.
Yeah. Netflix and Amazon.
And Amazon.
Okay. I have
Hulu,
Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, HBO.
Hulu does the most annoying thing ever when they say, which commercial do you want to watch? I want to throw my TV
I don't
through the
get
window.
that anymore.
Oh, you probably have.
I used to.
Yeah, I get it all the time now, and they cut it off.
I have the cheapest option.
Now, Alexa knows what you want to watch now.
Yeah,
you don't have. They don't have to ask
I get
anymore.
fucking avocado commercials all day long.
I know you Googled avocado.
It's like it's avocado and car commercials.
They watch you make guacamole from your phone every day. They just know what.
And what makes it worse is that the commercials are so stupid.
Yeah,
like they try to be entertaining. It's like, this is not entertaining. Why don't you just go on TV and say, this is a nice car, I want to sell it to you? Yeah,
like they're redoing the Disneyland parade or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The main
that thing comes on every fucking break, and I'm like, I refuse to go to this place.
Kill me now.
Yeah.
Ew.
All righty.
All right.
It's a mixed bag on Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino is done. I think he's finished. What happened?
Oh, there you go.
I think he's finished as a filmmaker, so.
I don't think he's finished.
He only has one movie left.
You just blasphemed. That's why your mic just cut out.
Yeah.
He's
I know.
like, Amazon can hear you.
I know. The Tarantino police are probably downstairs waiting for me. I can see the black helicopters outside now.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, I liked it. You know, I don't think it's perfect, but I enjoed it.
Great acting. I'll give him that. Great acting in the movie, but not his usual. Not his usual
acting with no purpose whatsoever.
Usually, I would say wait for the streaming service of this and watch half of it.
Yeah, usually his dialogue is very crisp, really good. Not in this movie.
Yeah, not in this movie. That's the other thing that pissed me off. Like, at least I can, like, even, Django I didn't like particularly.
Yeah.
Hateful Eight was horrible, but at least that like spiffy dialogue was there. Yeah. This was missing completely.
The Hateful Eight might be one of the worst movies ever made. It was terrible.
It was stupid. I don't know. Yep. So going forward, I've learned a lesson. When Shark watches a movie, says he likes it, instead of taking that,
he's just trolling you.
I'm just going to be like, dude, watch it again.
He was drunk when he wrote
wait
that.
until I watch it the second time.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that I changed his mind.
You probably did.
Yeah.
Paul, I think you actually.
I can't wait till Shark watches Blade Runner, the sequel, again.
Oh,
and
what?
actually loves to learn it, to love it.
No.
I'd rather drink muddy water and sleep in a hollow log.
That's a movie that's a long movie that takes its time that worked out great.
Ugh.
All right, guys. Well, it's good to be back. Hopefully, we won't be away as long as we were. So
yes,
we'll
indeed.
figure something out. It sounds like we're going to do some Amazon/HBO.
You're assuming
shows.
I'm going to get this posted before December.
My bad. All right, hey guys, we'll see you before 2020. Yeah. But Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Thanks for listening.
All right.
Yeah. And happy birthday to President Bernie Sanders.
That's not going to happen.
Oh, that's not the right music. Whatever, it'll do. All right. See you later, everybody.
All right.